Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is the Nanu, and I'm the man with black privilege. And in this video here, we're going to be like the rest of the internet, and we're going to be talking about Henry Cavill and all of this Superman drama that's been going on for the past week. And I'm not going to jump on and be like a lot of the other channels where they just speculate and stuff like that. I'm just going to be giving my thoughts and my opinions on WB's fuckery, and let that be that. So I mean, I'm not just gonna spout the same bullshit that everybody else is doing. But if this rumors are true, if these rumors are true, let me actually talk in this video here. I think that's gonna be fucked up, because Henry Cavill, and besides, my DC movie opinion aside, because I think that they're fucking up in every way they can possibly do it, hiring Henry Cavill to be Superman was not one of them. That was something that was damn good. I think he is a great Superman. Now, whether they let him be that Superman in their movies, that's a whole nother thing. But hiring him to be Superman was probably one of the greatest decisions they ever made. Starting on this whole DC Elseworlds extended universe, whatever they're calling it this week, universe thing. Because he's one of those things, it's like you can't have, and I can even say this about the comic books, you can't have DC comic books without the Trinity. Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. You can't do it. With all the baggage behind Ben Affleck and all the rumors about him leaving it and things like that, to have your Superman have those same rumors, that is a problem. That is a huge problem. Because then, if you shared universe, BS aside, whether they decide to continue that or scrap that, is you can't reboot. They're stuck in a weird, fucked up position where they probably want to reboot, but they can't, because you got Wonder Woman 2 coming out. Since that's sold, so they got to keep that going. Wonder Woman 2 is coming out. You got Shazam coming out. You got Aquaman coming out this fall, or I think in December, this winter. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, okay, if they reboot, do they scrap all of those other characters? Because, you would have to, right? If you're rebooting a universe, all of those characters that you create, they have to go. They have to be recast or whatever. And if you recast in a shared universe, then what's the point? I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's one of those things where it's like you have to put in some time first, and they never put in the time. Like, if I compare it to Marvel, like if they wanted to recast Captain America or recast Iron Man, they would take a huge hit because people love those characters, but they could move on. Over time, the audience would get accustomed to it. The universe would go forward. It will move on. DC, they don't have the universe built yet. So if you replace those actors, people already don't have no faith in what you're putting out. You have to keep things consistent enough to keep things going, to build that faith. If you just turn around and reboot, what makes you think fans are going to watch your reboot movies? You see what I'm saying? They're stuck in a weird, shitty position. And me personally, if it was me, I would pay Henry Cavill as whatever he wanted. I don't know what's causing these rumors. I don't know if it's maybe he wants more money, or if WB just wants to change things, or I don't know what started all these rumors. I don't know if any of them is true. But if it's money wise, I'd pay him whatever he wants within reason. I wouldn't make the company go broke, because then you ain't making no movie at that point. But if he wants an increase in pay him that increase. Keep him. Ben Affleck, I would want to pay him too, but he may not want to do it no more at that point, given all the backlash and all the stuff that he sees online. So he may not want to do it no more. So I can't really say nothing about him. I'd have to recast Batman at that point, or maybe if it were me, I'd keep everything in line. I'd keep it going. And what I would do If I was the one directing and planning these movies, I would keep everything the same. Keep Superman, keep Batman, but when that Flash movie came out, I'd pull a Flashpoint. You know, make that movie be about Barry Allen going back in time, trying to stop his dad or his mom from getting killed or whatever, right? Or have some alternate, universe fuckery. So then you can have, do like Flashpoint, the movie, like the animated movie. And then when you come out of that movie, have everything be different. Have the Henry Cavill be the Superman we want him to be. Have him be the Captain America of the Justice League. Have Batman be the Batman we want him to be. Whether that's Ben Affleck, if he chooses to stay, or have a younger Batman. Have a Batman that's, in his 30s. Around the same age as like Henry Cavill and Superman. You could do that too. It's not hard to fix the universe. It really isn't. And it keeps things going. Then you can keep Wonder Woman the same. You can keep Aquaman the same. If Aquaman sells and everybody likes that version of Aquaman, keep him the fucking same. You don't have to reboot and just instantly change none of these actors and none of these movies as far as ongoing stuff. You just have to have something that's in your universe that you can say changes everything. Hell, if you didn't excuse me, if you didn't want to wait until Flash, you got Shazam coming out. Have some magic stuff happen at the end of Shazam. Let's say he's fighting somebody and some magic stuff happens and bam, everybody just gets changed. He stops the bad guy, but now everything is different in the world and the universe, and have your universe going forward be what it should have been 5 years ago, and then just keep that going. It's not hard. You don't have to reboot the universe. It's not the characters and the actors that are fucking this up. It's WB's planning and Zack Snyder's shitty fucking vision for these characters, because that's not what everybody wants to see. It's like, granted, don't get me wrong, it's like watching a movie, right? Let's say somebody directs this one movie, and it's okay. Prime example: Quentin Tarantino movies, right? You have Quentin Tarantino, when he comes out and he makes a movie, it's not going to be a movie that the majority likes. It's going to be one of those weird cult classic type films that may be a hit or miss with the main audience. That's what it feels like Zack Snyder is, except only he's nowhere near as fucking good. It's like some people like your vision of the characters, but if the mass majority hates that vision of it, don't go with that fucking vision. Have one movie be that way. Oh, audiences didn't really like that one, so let's try to change things up. And then change up your characters and then, push forward. And that's what I think they should do. Honestly, Henry Cavill quitting being Superman, that's kind of like the nail in the coffin for WB. It's one of those things where it's like even fans of the movies are, they can't be like, well, fuck, what do we got now? We don't got shit. Now they don't got nothing to argue with in the comment wars, It's like, you got to give them ammo to use, WB. and the good ammo, not the bad shitty ammo. It's one of those things where it's like, even you got, when fans of the characters are calling your movie shit, that's a problem. Like me, I'm more of a Marvel fan than DC. I'll admit it any day. My brother is a DC fan. He's Superman and Batman for life. Superman and Batman and Wolverine, those are his 3 favorite characters. Even he can watch something like Justice League and be like, oh man, they fucked that up. And it's like, it's not hard to see, and all they have to do is have a Flashpoint event, have Shazam throw out some magical bullshit, and just when you come back in for the future of the franchise after that, have it be the Justice League from the Justice League the animated cartoon show. That's all you have to do. And they're already there. The characters are already written. Have Batman do the back fist thing, knock somebody out. Have Batman, be Batman. Have Superman be Superman. Have Wonder Woman be Wonder Woman. It's like, it's not hard. You don't have to. It's not rocket science. you don't have to look at these characters and be like, how can we translate this to film? Be like, you already have it. It's a fucking cartoon. They had like 6 fucking seasons. Just, use those versions of the characters and then put them on screen. And you will get that Marvel money in due time. It's not hard. Really isn't. You don't have to go by the previous Batman, like from, the Nolan Batman movies. You don't gotta include none of that bullshit if you don't want to. You don't have to pull in anything from like the Christopher Reeve movie Superman and then how people want him to act like them. You don't gotta do none of that. Just make them like they were in the animated cartoon show. And have show Superman caring about people and saving people. That's it. I mean, you can even show him not save everybody and have that really be like a thing with his character, because it's like he has all this power and wants to save everybody, but he can't save everybody, and he has to come to that realization. You can have that be like his moral thing in his movies. Wonder Woman, I would just keep her going in the same way. I don't know who she's gonna fight in future movies because she doesn't really have a bad guy, but that's a whole nother problem for a different day. Have Batman be Batman fighting in Gotham. I wouldn't even do shit with the Joker because they got like 15 billion Joker movies coming out, so I don't know what they're gonna do with that, if any. I mean, if anything, I would pull some stuff from the latest comic book runs. Have like Batman's movie be like a Court of Owls movie, or have do the whole 3 Jokers thing. You know, you have Jared Leto's Joker that don't nobody like. You got what's his name from Batman, The Dark Knight. Even though I think you know he died, but you can say his Joker was a different character. You have throw all of the 3 popular Jokers that people like in films in one movie, and then you can have the whole 3 Jokers thing like they did in the comic books, and have Batman explain like, okay, why are there 3 different Jokers, and make up a storyline for that. I mean, there's so much you can do with these characters that I just think the people who are on top making these decisions just don't fucking stand their source material. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, because they keep making fucked up decisions. I think it's run by a bunch of old guys up at the top who've been making movies for like the past 80 years, and all they think movie wise is trying to do what sold before, thinking that's going to sell today. And the sad part about it is that's not the case. You know, it's not the 80s no more. It's not the 90s no more. It's not the thousands no more. Marvel kind of came in the game in the late thousands and kind of changed how Hollywood thinks. So you have to change with the times, like they've been doing with movies ever since they first started movies. It's the same reason, like I remember in the 90s when in the 90s, if like an 80s movie came out, the shit didn't sell well because it wasn't the 80s. You can't make a movie. Like, the prime example, I just made a commentary video talking about the new Predator. Same fucking example. You can't come out with like a Predator movie now because it's not gonna work. It's not the 80s no more. So it's like you gotta change with the times and introduce different concepts. And if the shared universe thing is big now, make a shared universe just on your terms. You know, WB doesn't have to be like Marvel. They don't have to do it just like Marvel did things. But it's one of those things where it's like, hey, look, Marvel did it right, so why not do it that way? It's like, look, I can understand having pride in the whole YouTube thing. I have tons of pride. That's why in like all of my videos, they're not heavily scripted. You know, I don't have stupid red arrow things in my thumbnails. I have a lot of pride with everything I do. You know, I don't mind being the individual. A lot of people like being a part of the whole. Me, I'm the other way around. I like being an individual. I like my uniqueness. I can understand why WB wants that, because then it frames you in a certain light. You know, you're not trying to be like everybody else. I get that. But like I said, they have to come to terms with like, look, what we're doing ain't working. How can we fix this shit? And they can easily fix it, but whether they're going to be smart enough to make that decision for themselves, I have no idea, YouTube. I mean, I really don't. I'm hoping they do. But if they just turn around and just reboot the whole thing, it's kind of like, what little faith that they have in, like, why should anybody get pumped to see Aquaman? Why should anybody get pumped to see the next Wonder Woman movie? You know, are they still making a fucking Flash movie? Like, they have no idea. Why should anybody get pumped about any future Batman movie? It's like, you have to give people a reason to care about the movies you're putting out. In today's day and age, maybe back in the day, that didn't matter. It only mattered in the movie. But now, with the internet being so proliferant in sharing knowledge and everything out there, especially comic book movies, because everybody knows these characters. You know, you don't have to like You know, you can't put out a Batman movie no more and be like, well, why ain't Superman in it? Because everybody knows that they're a part of the fucking Justice League and they're in the same fucking universe. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's not like back in the day when I was growing up in the 90s watching movies and it's like all you had was fucking Superman and Batman. You know, people didn't care if they were in the same movie or not because that wasn't a thing back then. I think the only other shared universe before Marvel was what? Fucking, that way I actually went sequel to sequel was the fucking monster movies from back in the day. And they even tried to reboot that shit failed too, because monsters ain't big no more. But you know, it's just they can easily fix this, man. It's just like I hope that Henry Cavill is still Superman. It's like, and the one thing that scares me about the whole thing is WB isn't putting out any kind of official statement. They're not coming out here and saying, oh yeah, you know what, you know, we hear what the fans are saying. No, Henry Cavill is still our Superman. They're not saying that. They're giving you, or they're giving us some marketing bullshit saying, oh, we wish him well and we have a great working relationship with him. That means fucking what? Not a goddamn thing. And you got Henry Cavill putting out stuff on Twitter, and that's cool and all, you know, but he may be contractually obligated to do those kind of things until he breaks contract or until his contract elapses. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I don't believe anything he's saying. I want to hear from WB's mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because he can say anything he wants, unless he comes out on Twitter and says, "Fuck WB, I'm out. I ain't doing that shit no more." Then I'll probably believe it. But he's not the kind of actor to do that. He seems like a guy who really wants his job. So, so he's probably gonna do what he can. And right now, his job is probably to just stem the tide of all the negative publicity towards him being Superman. Now, whether this is a business move on his end to be like, look, I don't need you, you need me, I want more money. That's what it feel like. But it could be one of those things where maybe WB just don't have nothing in the works for him to do. Because from what I hear, they're talking about like a Supergirl movie that they're trying to get off the ground, but I don't think that's not going to work because number one, Supergirl isn't Superman and all of her villains are just shittier Superman villains anyway, so it's kind of like it's kind of pointless at that point. Everybody's gonna want to see Superman, not Supergirl. She's not the big female character like Wonder Woman was. You can't recreate that with her. I mean, I hope this is just a business move by Henry Cavill to get a little bit, you know, more money in his paycheck. But then again, he just signed with The Witcher and doing that with Netflix, for 2020. So it's like, if he's doing that, he's not going to be doing DC movies unless they can somehow make that work. And usually in Hollywood, that's kind of hard to do when an actor has multiple projects like that. So, I'm hoping they can make it work. YouTube. I mean, I really do. It's one of those things where I look at it and be like, damn, that's fucked up. Because it's like, at the end of the day, I want WB to be as big as Marvel. I mean, I read comic books. I read, DC and Marvel comics. I mean, it's my it's my hobby of choice. I want to see more comic book movies and things like that. And I just have a feeling by WB fucking it up, you're kind of ruining it for everybody who isn't Marvel at this point. But anyways, fellas, that's just been my thought on WB and Henry Cavill and the whole situation that's been going on this past weeks here. So if you guys want to hear me talk about anything else, let me know down in the comments below or hit me up on Twitter and I think on my Facebook page. It all kind of links together when I get them. So, but I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And my name is the Nanu, aka the man with the most biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.